As you know, Lynn Moffat will be retiring at the end of this year. So for just under 40 years, she has been a faithful and loyal servant of this community, helping to build the very foundations and fibre and fabric to making the college it is what it is today. And we want to say to you, Lynn, thank you for your faithful service. But with this significant announcement became the realisation that we're going to need to find someone else who's going to lead the primary school into the future. So this triggered for me some conversations with the senior leadership team and the board, and we decided to engage an executive recruitment company to help us to identify the next primary principal at the Werribee campus. Well, I'm here to share some really exciting news with you. It is with great pleasure that I announce that the new principal of the primary school will be Yvonne Harvey. So I've invited Yvonne to come and have a chat with me today, just to talk about why she applied for the role, in her heart for Heathdale as a whole, as well as what will this significant news about her appointment mean for both the Melton and Werribee campuses. So because we have to be at different campuses and aren't able to travel between the two campuses at the moment because of restrictions, I've asked Yvonne to join me in a Teams chat. So, hey Yvonne, thanks for joining me. And firstly, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
Well, that's good, and we're all excited about this news, and really looking forward to you to taking up the role as the principal of the primary school at Werribee. So, as I just wanted to just have a few moments with you, I just recognise though your journey with Heathdale just doesn't begin at the start of next year. We've already been on a 4-year journey with us as part of the head of the Melton campus. And, sort of that's brought its own joys and excitements and highlights, no doubt, for you. So even as you reflect on these 4 years, what would you say were a few of your highlights or something of those most memorable moments?
Oh, it's gone so quick, and it's been such a brilliant journey. And I remember when I first turned up, and I was used to a school of 1,200 students, and there was 84 students, and
Wow.
I just sort of looked around and thought, oh, what do I do?
I've lost some students.
But it felt like we were rattling around on 46 acres. But I think that's been such a joy watching those 84 children grow into what will be next year 350 students, and
Wow.
and changing from P6 composites and moving into a P9 school next year, and with flourishing students and watching them transition into young adults, and watching the school take on a master plan of building and creating such exciting learning spaces for their students, and having those partnerships with parents. It's been lovely.
Yeah, and you're right. The 4 years has just absolutely rocketed by, and it's just been almost building upon layer, hasn't it? And I think you're right. It's also building the foundation towards the future, and actually part of your role that you fulfilled is actually helping to lay that foundation as we build to the future. One of the things that for me, you're right about Melton, there is something really special about every time you pull up at that campus. And I think I said to you earlier in the piece, I used to feel like a kid in a lolly shop each time I would get out of my car, just thinking there's something very unique about the community, specifically at Melton. As you think about that, your time with Melton is going to move to a point that you won't have as much direct contact as you do now. What's one of those things you're going to long for, maybe even just miss as you move out of the Melton community?
Yeah, I think that's the relationships that we've developed with the parents and with the students, and the staff, of course.
Yep.
That's where what my heart will miss. And you
Yep.
do, you walk along the in the campus and you see the beautiful parrots and the lorikeets and I even saw a kangaroo once hopping through the campus. It was early in the morning, or I see the foxes. Um, and just, I think I'll miss watching everybody grow. People have grown so much
Mm.
from in those 4 years, even in remote learning and COVID.
Yep.
Watching us setting everybody in the community up for success and watching Melton Heathdale become a real place on the map in the
Mm.
community. That's been a real highlight too.
Hey, that's a good point. You're right that it's actually it's a sense of the identity of that campus, but recognizing that that identity is actually couched in the concept of Heathdale Christian College. And so, yes, we've got Heathdale Christian College at the Werribee campus, and then Heathdale Christian College at our Melton campus. And so the sense of, even though we can have two locations, the concept of a one college is really been an important thing. And I think this is what adds to the excitement about your appointment, is that actually it's reflective of the fact that this is a one college type response. So, and I think it's really good that you just touched on that then.
Yeah, that's my heart is having a one college, and whoever the new principal is that comes in, that I will make sure that I support as much as possible
Yeah.
to continue the good work that's happening and has been started.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, sir. And I have no doubt that you are committed to that. And I think because I'd also say it's not only that Melton holds a special place in your heart and will always
Yeah,
hold a special place in your heart. It's the fact that you recognise, hey, this is a team. We're playing team
yeah.
here, and I think that that's a really significant thing that I've seen in you over the 4 years as you've been leading the Melton community, and you will continue to see in you as you take on the role at Werribee. Hey, Yvonne, others have probably not had the opportunity to talk with you and sort of get to know you a bit deeper, as deep as the privilege I have. But I can remember the very first time you and I met, and you sent me an email and just said, "Hey, I'm a mum at the school, but I'm also a teacher. But I just want to talk to you, Ross, as the new executive principal coming to about the school." And I can remember that the conversation sat very strongly around leadership. And then as that conversation, I start to realise that you're someone who's been very heavily invested into leadership. And so do you want to share some of that leadership experience and depth that you've been able to acquire over time, and the way God has developed that gift in you over the last few years in particular?
Yeah, sure. I've always been really interested in leadership and building people's capacity and drilling into what do we need to change to make people as the best they can be. So I started off as a math teacher in the UK and then moved to Australia. And then I quickly moved into doing my postgraduate in student wellbeing, which I really enjoyed. I did that at Melbourne University. And then I was maths teaching and also doing student wellbeing at the same time, being a leading teacher. And I'd had various other jobs as well, like being a year level coordinator and leading maths year levels as well. And then I was privileged to become the assistant principal of a school and worked heavily in transition in that space. But always it's been about how can I set the teachers up to get the best out of the students that can enable them to live their best lives as well.
Yeah, hey, that's thanks for sharing that, and you're right, and again for me, I just want to affirm that what you've just said and what you do is so strongly aligned. It's not like you say one thing and do another, and I think your commitment to building. No, what did you use? I think you used the build and set people up for success, whether it be a student and success in their learning, but as a person or as a staff member in their capacity as a staff. It is really a strong trait of your leadership style. So yeah, that's good.
I just want to say that includes parents too. I really
Mm,
love the way Heathdale has the opportunity to partner with parents,
yeah.
and it's such a strong partnership as well.
Mm,
Where I've got some great relationships with parents here, and
yep.
I'll miss those.
That's well, hey, it as the Italians say, it's not goodbye, it's ciao until we meet again. And so that'll be but is that sense of, building those relationships with the students and the staff and the parents, is that one of the things that you're really looking forward to as you come to Werribee? Because there's going to be a brand new audience in many
Yes,
respects.
and more.
Yeah, that's true.
More of everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about, as what are the pictures in your mind as you're thinking about coming to start to base yourself at the Werribee campus?
Wow. Well, I suppose I have a little bit of insight because I've watched my children travel through the primary school, and it is such a beautiful Christ-centered environment.
Yeah,
And Lynn will be leaving a wonderful legacy,
that's
uh,
true.
passing the baton, so
Yeah,
to speak. And I look forward to continuing the amazing work that she's done. I'm excited to meet all of the new students,
yep,
excited to form relationships with parents, but also excited to lead staff in developing each individual child that's at the
yep.
campus.
Ah, good. Hey, Yvonne, when we were talking about organising this little chat, one of the things you said to me is, "Hey, I'd just like an opportunity to finish and just say some particular words as that you'd like to do that." So Yvonne, I'm just going to hand it over to you now, so that you can do a sense of a personal message that you wanted to leave with the people. Okay,
Sure.
over to
Thank
you.
you. To the Melton community, I would like to thank you all for the wonderful past 4 years I've had here, and I have loved every minute of it, partnering with you, watching the students grow, and helping everybody on their journey. I look forward to finishing the year off well with you, and I promise to support the new principal in every way I possibly can.